I think I went out to their license early years. I don't remember when it was, but Patsy reminded me they all treated us very nicely and wined and dined us. I don't remember that at all. Matter of fact, I think I paid for the bill. But anyway, Tom, you know, I came over to see you several times, and I know that you didn't see eye to eye about everything, but that really didn't make any difference to me. You know, even though I like Sid, I also like you, and I think you did a great job. And the fact is that you did hang in there when everybody else could scamper away, and that takes a certain amount of faith. And it's good. Good to have you. Good that you're here. I'm glad. I do think that you're older than me. That makes me feel good. It's a happy day. So thank you for everything that you've done.
Got a few people up here for you, Tom.
Well, what can I say? I am so grateful for the opportunity to lead Sherman College. And because of Betty and Tom, I want to perpetuate what the work that they started. And it's challenging. It's challenging with all the stuff that's going out in the profession like I spoke about earlier. But you know what? They did an amazing job. We are so grateful for them. We're grateful for the opportunity to continue the dream and to continue the vision and to continue the things that they fought for and that they struggled and the challenges that they ran into, to make sure that the school would continue. So I hope that he's happy with what we're doing. I know for a fact that I'm just honored and blessed that Debbie and I can continue the dreams that they started. So thank you, Tom.
The Gelardi started, I guess, my first license in 1978. But after getting on the New Jersey board in the 80s, I had an opportunity to inspect the college for the state of New Jersey and play somewhat of a role in keeping them approved in New Jersey. But Dr. Gelardi has always been not a mentor to me, because he didn't take me by the hand and tell me what to do, but a role model for me and an inspiration to me. My wife describes him as an oak tree that is planted firmly in the ground, and that no matter what comes along, his stance always stays the same. And when she said that to Betty, Betty said, yes, that's him. And chiropractic today would not be what it is without both Dr. Gelardi and Dr. Betty Gelardi. We owe a debt of gratitude to them and to Sherman College of Chiropractic. And I'd just like to say thank both of you for all you've done for us.
Betty from Webb and fellow New Yorkers. And Tom, I can remember 1973, you coming into my office, asking me to be a regent and be part of the vision that you had. And I'm so honored by that. And I'm so thankful for you keeping the principle alive. Thank you very much.
Betty, you took two innocent people that were starving to learn more. The medical profession couldn't have helped my son. And the confidence you gave in us, you gave me the first opportunity to teach CAs that brought me out of that shell. I never taught before. You had so much confidence in me that I really thank you. The strawberries and cream that you invited us to your home with the hospitality, I thank you both from the bottom of my heart to your hearts.
I guess I met Tom at the first license that Sherman had, and but my real contact with him came in, I guess, in the early '80s. I was teaching in Penn State at the time, and Tom came up to teach at the school, or to run the school for a short period of time. And during that time, he was teaching philosophy, first quarter philosophy. And he said, he came to me one day and he said, I was teaching last quarter philosophy. And he said, since I'm going to have to be out of town on business a few times, I wonder if you would take my class. And in as much as you're going to take my classes only so you can keep up with everything, would you be willing to sit in on my classes for the whole semester since you're not teaching this particular semester? And I said, yes, I would. So I am probably the only person in this room who had the privilege of learning first quarter philosophy from Reggie Gold at Columbia and first quarter philosophy from Tom Gelardi at Penn State. That's something that I treasure, that opportunity to sit under both these men and to have learned first quarter philosophy from them. And because philosophy then became an important aspect of my life, one of the great things about Tom Gelardi, and probably one thing that most people don't know, and I doubt if anybody up here is going to mention it, but Tom gave me a concept and probably something that the whole chiropractic, street chiropractic community has embraced, is the idea that we define a profession. And I was so happy to hear President Cordero talk about that this morning, that we define a profession by its objective. And I don't know whether Tom came up with this originally, but he was the first person that I heard to apply it. And as I go back and read BJ, I see that BJ really had this idea down, that we define a profession by its objective. And if you go and study and look at the Maracubo case, you can see that we really became a profession with that case. And I think that was paramount in our understanding of chiropractic. It sure wasn't in my understanding of chiropractic. And I think it's where we are today and where we can stand and hold the line in chiropractic. We define chiropractic by its objective. And that's what Tom gave to me in that first quarter philosophy class. Even though I had been in practice for 14 years at the time, I still learned that new idea, and that's where we really base our understanding of chiropractic today on that. And I think that the profession as a whole owes an awful lot to Tom Gelardi from a philosophical standpoint. When people are going to talk about today his great accomplishments as an administrator and as a president of a college, and the contributions he's made to chiropractic. But I see that as an important one that's been made to the chiropractic profession and its philosophy by Tom Gelardi. And I thank you for that, Tom.
Tom, Betty, privilege and an honor. I always get emotional with these things. Sorry. Okay, I'll thank you. 18 years old I was when I first met you guys. Who would have thought 30-something years later this would be happening? Your influence worldwide, the New Zealand College of Chiropractic is a tribute to what you have done worldwide. We are doing in New Zealand what you have done. You drew the blueprint. Your dogged determination, your integrity, your honesty influenced me as a young man growing up more than I realized until I grew up. Betty, you've always been behind Tom 100%, and that can't be stated strongly enough. Tom, as these other people have mentioned, everyone always knew where you stood, and some people have expressed it, that perhaps it was at odds with their own opinion, but you always were consistent. You were always the same person, and I've always really admired you. I thank you so much, both of you, for everything you've done for us and for everything you've done for chiropractic internationally. Thanks. Yes, you've been on his board for a number of years, Dr. Joe Donofrio.
Tom had lots of good things going for him and did lots of good things. Everybody here today is going to tell you about the good things. But I was a little closer to him. Tom had a flaw. Tom simply did not understand New Jersey attitude. Right guy. Could never quite get me. And why I did what I did and how I did. His only flaw. Everything else, he did really well. Tom and I had lots of time spent together. It was my pleasure to be on the board for 25 or so years and to be chairman for 11 or 12 of those years. We did lots of things together. One of the things we did together was go to Washington, D.C. This was back in the old days when we were still determined to get CCE, as Tom would put it, to take their hands from off our throat. We simply wanted to breathe. So Tom set up a meeting with some of the people from CCE, and he thought we'd go down there and talk reason to them. Well, we met at the airport, we took a cab downtown, and here we are in the center of D.C. We pick up a paid consultant who's coming with us. And we decided it's a beautiful day in Washington, D.C. We're going to walk to where the meeting is. Now, Tom was born in Brooklyn, New York. You'd think he'd really be wise to the ways of the big city. But evidently he spent a little too much time in Gaffney, South Carolina. As we're walking, Tom decides, as he always did, to strategize with me and Shelby. You know what, we ought to do this, we ought to bring this up, and I said, we ought to say this, and Joey, you ought to go into this, and Shelby, I think maybe if you go into this, he's doing a great job. It's his usual, incredible intensity, totally oblivious to the world around him. As we came to a corner in Washington, D.C., out of the corner of my eye, I see a yellow cab making a right-hand turn. Tom's talking a mile a minute. The little man on the light stand across from us is going. Tom doesn't see it. Tom steps off the curb. I grab him by his shoulders, pull him back onto the sidewalk. And if it was not for me, you would not have Tom Gelardi. Thank God I saved his life, but he didn't know that. The man didn't miss a word. He just continued talking, and when the light changed to red again, and it was time for us to cross, we crossed, and just never dawned on him that this even happened. I had this wonderful opportunity way back when I was chairman of the board. One year at Lyceum, under the tent, I was asked if I would do a fundraiser. I was evidently good at raising funds because coming from an old Italian mother, I knew how to make people feel guilty. And that's how you get money out of them, by making them feel guilty. So I stood up and I started my talk off. And in those days, there was a new country singer on the charts by the name of Billy Ray Cyrus. Now, today, we only know Billy Ray Cyrus because he was the father of Miley Cyrus. You know, the tweet girl. But I started to talk off with the title of a song that Billy Ray Cyrus had on the charts at the time. I believe it was #1. And the title of the song is Everybody Gave Some, but Some Gave All. And I talked about Tom and Betty Gelardi. You know, we all in this room have given something to chiropractic. All of us have done some good things. We've donated money, we've donated our time and our effort and our skills. But there are some who gave all. Some who gave up their family life, gave up their personal fortune, gave up their relationships with their children. They simply weren't there for the Little League game or the recital. Because, well, there were things to do for chiropractic or for Sherman College. And when I say Tom, I mean Tom and Betty. Those who are married all know full well that nothing gets done if you're married without the support, love, and hard work of your spouse, whether you be male or female. Whatever Tom did, he did because Betty was there to help him do it. And I think we ought to get Betty's name on the award today, too. Yeah. Or maybe Jim will spring for a second award, who knows? All gave some, but some gave all. That's what I think of when I think of Tom Gelardi. You know, the Association of Chiropractic, the Association for Chiropractic History, I believe, said that there were 400 colleges of chiropractic that were initiated at some point in the world. I believe in the world and maybe in America. And it sounds about right. And you got to figure the vast majority of those colleges were started by people who were DCs, who were chiropractors. And as I think about those that are contemporary and what I know of them, I see one glaring difference between them and Sherman College. Most, if not all, founders of colleges seize the opportunity to create a personal fortune. And they do that. Most seize the opportunity to build a family hierarchy. Quite often, as the founder retires, he sees to it that the presidency is passed on to a son, brother, sister, cousin, somebody in the family. Tom Gelardi did all that he did and asked for nothing in return. Oh yeah, he served a small salary from us, enough to feed his family and pay his bills. But he never did what others had done and what he could have done. He gave simply because giving was right. And because he so loved that thing that we love. And Tom and Betty, that's what you're about. You are the essence of chiropractic. And I'm proud to have been a part of it, a small part. And I can't say I agree with every one of your decisions, Tom. Some were great, some were momentous, some were earth-changing, and some not so much. But I want you to know that I love you and I respect you and I appreciate all that you've done so that my children and my children's children can have chiropractic. Thank you.
He was on the Board of Trustees, and he was there for Sherman College when they needed him. Dr. Bob Perkins.
That's a tough one to follow. For starters, I'd like to thank New Beginnings Board for not only thinking about how to honor a true chiropractic hero, mentor, and legend, and a role model for me, but actually took the action steps and did it. A lot of words come to mind when I was asked to do this. Clarity, consistency, voice of reason to start. Two more words I can think of, mensch and sight. The first three words all understand, while the last two, but a few in the room may have heard. Hopefully by the end of this, most of you will know. They're two Hebrew words, meaning a mensch is a class act, and a tzaddik is a righteous one. Perfect combination when I think of my 35 years associated with Tom and Betty. They had a couple more words like substance. When Tom spoke, you knew what it was about. It wasn't kind of, sort of, maybe. You knew. It was logical, and it was simple. What separates Tom from the rest is that his purpose was not to be the biggest chiropractic institution, but to maintain the integrity of chiropractic by his words and actions. He was not looking to save the methods used by chiropractors, but to save the objective and goal of chiropractic, which simply is detection and correction of vertebral subluxation for a greater expression of life within the body, period. And you have to add the end in, the end of it, for greater expression of the life within the body. Anybody can adjust things for what purpose? Get naked, for this, that? No. It was not how to rationalize the stacking of all sorts of other procedures on top of the simple objective and goal, as so many chiropractors love to do. Every decision I ever saw this man make was always about, will this benefit chiropractic? As opposed to benefiting the chiropractor. Big difference in one's decision making. I never witnessed Tom compromise chiropractic for the purpose of being liked, being popular, or to allow the justification of a chiropractor or a group of chiropractors doing non-chiropractic things to make them feel it was okay. It was not okay. Just accept the fact that you're compromising the principle. Now there's a word bantered around, principle. You ask Tom what that means and you get a clear response. Not a wishy-washy, say one thing, do another. You get consistency, clarity, and voice of reason, based on logic and rational thinking. I remember when Sherman was going through a very difficult financial time. We were out at various events putting Sherman's voice, putting Sherman's vision of pure, unadulterated chiropractic as a separate, distinct profession. Chiropractor comes up to me and he says, Bob, here's a check. It was several thousands of dollars. He says, I never embraced what Sherman represented as chiropractic is. But I know with Tom at the helm, chiropractic has a chance to be a separate and distinct profession. I used the word integrity before, which has been stated to me, doing what is right when no one is looking. I like that, but I have another one to add to it. Clarity is integrity. People who are clear in their words and actions have integrity. Tom has always been that. Are you clear in what you mean when so many chiropractors use the word principle? Are you trying to rationalize the therapeutic action justify insurance claims? Well, that would never be Tom Gelardi. Tom is absolutely clear in his words and actions of exactly what chiropractic principle is about. Never fuzzy like so many chiropractic leaders like to talk one way, then walk in, then take actions the opposite in their office. Clarity is integrity, and when you hear the name Tom Gelardi, see the man, talk to the man, he's absolutely clear in his thoughts, followed by his actions. Tom told me years ago that whenever you meet someone, you're different for the rest of your life, whether you know it or not. Sometimes you know the difference, sometimes you don't. I can absolutely say that Tom has affected me like no other person alive today. To that I say, thank you, Tom. I love you and what you have done and continue to do to keep tick in chiropractic without all the fuzziness that is so popular. Thank you.
Board, and I'm sure the entire Sherman board, that each and every one of them would love to grab this mic and give you 20 minutes. Unfortunately, time does not allow it, but we're honored to bestow upon you. Get the plaque, please. This is a New Beginnings Lifetime Achievement Award for Moon. And on this plaque, your name's been added to the plaque for 2014. Tom Gelardi, you joined Reggie and Jim and Chuck and Pat Sarasoli. So, Tom, come up here, get up to all of us. Thank you. Tom Gelardi. Everybody go down. We have to go on the stage. And Josh up there.